have a lot of VODs to delete later. I think if I can just stretch it and brute force it. No, that's not working. What if I just crash out and I just open it this way? That did literally nothing to help me out. Just gonna... Oh, well, that's doing something. I just want to stream this, so I don't care how this works, just as long as I get results, you know? Whoops. See how it looks now. Yeah, now it's super duper wide. Let's try to reduce the widening a little bit here. I think that's the last thing we need to do. If we can just reduce it by just a tad here. Center it a little bit. Maybe make it... Oh, wait. Hold on. I'm a dum-dum. Here. Center the screen. We can reduce it a little bit more. Transform. Center the screen. Oh, but now the thing is... Yeah, it doesn't look anything like how it should look, and I have no idea what's going on with the canvas itself. It's weird what's going on with this thing, and I have no idea how to fix it. I've searched everything, and I do not know how to get this issue fixed. I don't know if the fix is right there. I'm just saying it. If I had known that getting a like ultra wide monitor was going to be this much of a hassle, because it's not like a case where you could just set the aspect ratio and set a like resolution to fit it, because that's what I've been doing, and it just doesn't work, and it keeps stretching out very like weirdly. Because I mean, look at my character, look at Gara, and it's like it looks so different from what I actually have. It's just so trippy. So it's like, hold on, what if we try setting it up one more time? Yes, because right now it's set at video resolution 1340 or 3440 by 1369. It's windowed, and every single like search I look up says, "Oh yeah, consider running in windowed mode at the 1920 by 1080p." So I have it set to that, so that way the aspect ratio fits. But I'm currently previewing on mobile, and I want it to be as kind of like okay looking on mobile as possible. But when I set it to that, something about it just... Huh. I think it's just a matter of, like... Hold on. Yeah, now when I have the chat overlay up... It's just so trippy how this is supposed to look. And so now if I... Let's do transform. Fit to screen. Now it looks tiny. And I've tried everything to get this thing to work right. We are 2 hours past the time in which I was originally supposed to stream, and all because I was trying to get this set up to be like at an okay, to look okay. And I don't want to hear like, "Oh, it looks fine to me." I don't really need that input right now. I appreciate the I appreciate the kindness, but I want it to look like how everybody else has it without an issue. I do not know how people are able to stream so well the way that they do. I mean, obviously it's because they have a 1920 by 1080 monitor, which is like the standard. But I thought it would be, when I got an ultra-wide monitor, I thought, oh, okay, it should be, like, it'll be fun playing an ultra-wide monitor. I never considered that, like, a lot of people don't have an ultra-wide setup, obviously. But I didn't realize even further how much of a pain in the... how much a pain it was going to be to simply adapt the ratio to something that fits. I already set the base. This is like some nerd talk with OBS, but if anybody decides to join in now, hopefully they can help. I set the base canvas resolution to the standard resolution of my monitor, 1340 by 1440, right? And then I set the output resolution to 1920 by 1080. So logic would dictate that if you set your monitor up to... Screw it, let's go full screen. I'm crashing out. Full screen, auto. Maybe if I set it to full screen, maybe it'll work. Nope, it made it look even worse. You'd think setting the canvas to 1920 by 1080p would just adapt the monitor, especially if you have it in the right parameters. But now the thing is panicking. It's... Wait, what? But I set it to... Huh? You all saw that. I set it to full screen. So, at least when it comes to the case of Warframe, you can't really set it up to be windowed properly. And if I set it to here, 16 by 9, I think is the standard, to 1920 by 1080p, we'll go ahead and we'll confirm it. It looks good in the preview canvas. It looks okay. But then it's like, I look at the phone screen on mobile, and it just looks like it's not fitting in right. It's weird. And if I decide to like transform it, I don't look right either. I look like I'm stretched inward as well. I don't get what's going on with it, because it's like everything looks fine. I'm just assuming it has to do with the fact that I'm playing on a monitor, but like I said, I don't understand why. I have no clue why it's not a simple case where I could just change the canvas to like 1920 by 1080p, change the monitor to, or change the game application to 1920 by 1080p windowed, and the canvas will just adapt and work just fine. I don't know why it's not that simple. I don't understand it. Like, the numbers match. The canvas and the monitor should be able to work together, but they just aren't. I'm thinking it's the canvas itself, so I think I really wanted to stream this, but this is just too much of a headache. I might just switch to the console setup, because at least with console, I already have it set up, right? Like 1920 by 1080p. I just need to get it, like, Oh, man. Problem is getting that set up, because that's going to take another 30 minutes, because then I need to plug in the capture card. It's going to completely go against what I was planning on doing, and that was streaming on PC. And then on top of that, my mic itself has been a problem for the last like 4 months, where I started out with a Chatlink cable. As it turns out, the Chatlink cable was like outdated. It's antiquated now. So I wasted $15 on that, and I thought, okay, the Chatlink cable's like quite a problem, but I was told like maybe getting a mix amp is good. Hey, what's this? Astro is selling a mix amp, and I'm better off with a mix amp on top of the Chatlink cable to improve my audio quality? All right, let's get the mix amp from Astro. Oh, what's that? That is antiquated as well? Huh, I should have been able to piece that together, considering the fact that people are selling it at like $50 and selling it for like no refunds available. Like, they're saying no refunds, no returns allowed when you buy the product. I'm like, I never once put two and two together that the mix amp was also antiquated. All it turns out is that when it comes to streaming on console, you just change 2 buttons nowadays in this modern era, and you're good to go. And so I decide, okay. And for a while I streamed on console, and I thought, okay, that's fine. And then after Xbox did some funkly, wuddly stuff with their business, I said, okay, maybe I should start streaming on PC from now on. So I tried using an old capture card on the PC, but then hold on, let me stretch this properly so that way, hold on. So maybe if I just, no, I don't stretch properly, or do I? Yeah, no, I don't stretch properly. Wonderful. Maybe I can at least get the game to stretch properly, though. Stretch. Fit the screen, stretch on screen. What? Okay. I don't know what I did. but it seems like it's working now. I did what I literally just did. If I have to do this every stream, I don't know if this will be worth it. My God. At least it's working now. But since we're here, chat, I might as well go ahead and continue ranting here. This is prime bait for me about my story on how I tried getting started as a streamer slash, like, YouTuber. Like, all right, chat, sit tight here. Here's a little life story from me, from yours truly, Jack Tato. All right, so when I was a little baby of 12, 13 years old, I was thinking, oh wow, these YouTubers are really making like a lot of cool content of Let's Plays, Markiplier, and who's this, PewDiePie, and Cry, rest in peace, Cry. I don't know what he's doing right now. I just, that drama is crazy. All right, tangents aside, it's like, all right, oh, maybe I can get into it myself. Maybe I should get the Roxio game capture card so I could start recording my own Let's Plays. Oh, but I'm too scared to ask my mother because I don't have a job, and she already paid like $300 for my like high school trip. Oh my goodness. And then it was like biggest mistake of my life, because Let's Plays were just those were the pioneers, right? Those people, they just needed to record their gameplay, add a tad little bit of editing, and then bam, they can hit 1 million subs, you know, just by maintaining a constant upload schedule of just that gameplay. We're now living in a modern era where everybody and their mother and uncle's cousin are trying to get into streaming and recording YouTube content. And it's really hard to set, like, yourself apart from them, you know? It's really difficult nowadays. So it's like, god dang it. But here I am, 10 years later from that decision of not getting the Roxio, and now I said, all right, I want to get into streaming, I want to get into content creation as a side hobby, and just see where it goes from there, and just try to build on from that, right? And then it's like, all right, let's do it. So I went in, I got a capture card, and then I didn't use it at all for like 2 years. Because I got bored of it, and then I just decided to move on. Once again, another big mistake. So then I finally got into it with my gamer gang, with Nightingale, Holly, Dane. You've probably seen some videos on my main channel with me playing with them, and I have a lot of fun with them. But yeah, I spent a lot of time editing that content, trying to make it like how the YouTubers I liked back in the old days were, and how other like YouTubers are, like with Soviet Womble and Kraken. I tried to deform my YouTube videos around their like format, where they have captions, colored captions for their YouTubers, and I thought, wow, this is bound to get a few views. First video, 263 views, I think, and only like 3 actually stayed around to watch. Those 3 views are probably Holly, Dane, and Nightingale, probably. Something like that. It was like you could see like the live viewers versus those that like maybe watched a preview but then clicked away from the video. You can actually see the live analytic content from that. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of demoralizing, but it's okay. I'll just maintain a steady as possible streaming schedule. Life updates keep getting in the way because I'm an adult now and I got work and all that. And so I was able to put out some content, but not a lot. I put in a lot of time editing some pretty good bits, but it just doesn't catch on compared to other people. So my goodness. But then it's like, I still tried my best to maintain an upload schedule. And then Microsoft made some bad decisions, like everything aside here. And again, all this time, constant technical issue after technical issue would come up, but I was able to fix it because it was pretty easy working with, what is it? It was pretty easy working with console to PC capture card setups with OBS. I actually was really happy to get it all set up. I was really thankful. But then it was like, one consistent problem that I've always had was my mic. This is a whole other story for a whole other rant. I have watched so many streamers, both like really small streamers as well as big ones, that just play and they have their mic set up and they just speak, and it's like, they sound so crisp and clear, and it's like, oh my goodness, I would like to have that. I started with the Blue Yeti, wasn't happy with it, so I said, okay, maybe I should get a more higher quality mic to like be a little bit more consistent. So I bought a Shure MV7 Plus, which is what you're seeing right here. As you can tell, in my opinion, I don't know why. It doesn't sound as clear enough as it should be. And the funniest part is that I went through a slew of issues with it. First, I started with USB like C connected to it. Apparently, like it has two options. It has an XLR plugin and a USB-C. I started with USB-C, and when I watched a lot of videos with a lot of walkthroughs, it was like everybody sounded clear with USB-C. But then I tried it, and it didn't really sound all that clear. It sounded muffled and airy, and it sounds boxy, you know? So I decided to post a thing on Reddit, like, hey, why does my $300 mic why does my $300 mic sound worse than my $70 one? And so everybody said, oh, are you using an XLR? And I said, no, I'm using USB-C because USB-C worked just fine for literally everybody else I watched on their walkthrough video. And then they said, no, you should get a XLR. It helps with the mic quality a lot better. So I said no. But then after a month, I caved and I bought a goddamn XLR and a stupid freaking like XLR like audio interface, the Elgato Wave XLR. Really nice audio interface. The problem is that I don't think my audio changed at all. My audio quality, I think, is still trash, in my opinion, and I don't know how to fix it. I have installed so many different side stuff on Elgato Wave XLR on the interface. What is it called? Wavelink. I installed so many different like filters on Wavelink. I have a compressor, limiter. I have a an EQ. I have it set to like I think the wave mode. Hold on, just to add the injury here. Let's go ahead and check on this now. Let's go to Elgato EQ. I think I have it set to reduced harshness. Let's go ahead and set it to podcaster. I think I had it set to podcaster last time, and it actually did sound a little bit better. I'm setting it to podcaster now, and I think it sounded a little bit better, but it still doesn't sound like what other people have. And so I asked a couple of the smaller YouTubers, like, how do you guys make your audio so clear? And they say, oh, I just plug it in. You plug it in and you sound just fine. So I shelled out some $600 to try to improve my mic quality. And there's other people that are just plugging in their like $70 to $100 mic and they just sound just fine without an issue. The only thing I can do is just say that it's just how my voice is. It's just how I project. I don't know why my P's and my E's and my S's are so harsh sounding when I try everything to reduce the harshness, while everybody else just sounds just fine when they just plug it in. But here we are. Now, that's my issue with the mic setting. Oh, and you can bet your goddamn sweet bippy I'm going to upload this because I'm going to rant up the wazoo about how hard it is to stream in 2025 with all these stupid hardware issues. I just spent 2 hours trying to set up my 4K capture card on my laptop, right, for a dual monitor setup. And the capture card didn't capture any audio worth crap. And it's like, why is that the case? And then I had to like it was like a console, it was just fine. I plug in the console, I plug it into the monitor I'm streaming from, I plug it to the PC where it's going to be the streaming PC, I plug in my headset, works just fine. But for this thing, it's like I had to go through like 1,000 steps. Maybe I'm just thinking overcomplicating and I was pressured because I didn't have a lot of time. But why can't it just be that I just plug it in, I set the audio capture to whatever's coming from the PC, and then that's it? It didn't do that. I don't know if I was missing something or what. Oh, and it doesn't help that this entire time, the 4K utility capture that came with the Elgato that you install to help with like the audio settings and the hardware settings and the update the firmware device. Yeah, you can't preview it on an ultra-wide monitor. Getting an ultra-wide monitor is a big mistake. Getting an ultra-wide monitor is a big mistake. If you are planning on getting into streaming or recording, for the love of Christ, do not get an ultra-wide monitor. Stick to 1920 by 1080p. I beg you, and you probably already know this by now, because unlike my stupid ass, who didn't realize that, who wanted to get an ultra-wide monitor because I thought, oh, it's so cool to have an ultra-wide monitor. It's the future. Apparently, it's fucking not the future, because we still are running 1920 by 1080p. Did I say P? 1920 by 1080. It's like, I'm an old man. I'm 29 years old, and this sucks. But yeah, here we are, modern time now. I tried setting up my capture card to my single PC, but as it turns out, maybe I was gaslighting myself the whole way through and not realizing how to set it up properly, but the entire time, to my knowledge, I thought getting a capture card into a PC, a single PC setup, is a legitimate thing. Apparently it's fucking not. Apparently you're better off with a dual monitor setup or a dual PC setup, and there's no such thing as a single PC setup. In fact, you will be ostracized by the streaming community if you do a single PC setup with a capture card. And I talked with Elgato customer support, and they themselves said, yeah, no, there's no such thing as streaming a capture card from your PC back. There's no point in doing so. It's like... And then I started Googling the issue that way, and then I figured it out, like, oh, that actually is the case now. This entire time when I was under the knowledge that you could do a capture card on a single monitor or a single PC. And now when I'm told with that revelation that that's not an actual thing, then I start getting the results saying, yeah, no, it's not feasible to do that. It's redundant. So I bought 2 capture cards, right? I bought a lower qual. I started with an Elgato like HD60 Plus, and as it turns out, it doesn't work for ultra-wide monitors. Ultra-wide monitors, once again, being an issue. So I decided to get a 4KX because some reviews said, oh yeah, I'm streaming with my with my Elgato 4KX without an issue now thanks to it. Yeah. They never once fucking mentioned that they probably used the second PC because the way they wrote the review, it sounded like they were using it for that single PC setup. It's a good thing nobody has joined stream yet because I've just been ranting for 22 minutes. Even Apricot got tired of my shit, who joined my stream, but since I've been having a slew of just closing it, restarting the stream, closing and restarting the stream, I wouldn't be surprised if I lost followers, because I, like, had to keep starting and, like, stopping and restarting the stream just so I can see the live changes. I don't know how to do, like, a private preview, so it's like, and you can't change the canvas resolution while streaming, which is understandable, but that makes it even worse because that means I have to keep stopping and restarting the stream and probably plugging up people's inboxes with all these notifications saying that, oh, Jack Tato is live, Jack Tato is live. And I'm just like stressing out everybody. I wouldn't be surprised if I lost followers. Not that I have that many. I have 39 because once again, streaming is a like painful landscape to try to get started in. This is a crash out stream, by the way. Like I'm completely crashing out. Just retelling my story about everything that has led up to this point of all the pain it took to try to like set up some streams in this modern day and age. By the way, my current monitor setup is absolutely painful. You guys are seeing the like a certain live view. Oh, look at me. I'm all stretched out too. Like it just never ends. Look at how stretched I am. Hold on. So now I need to hold on. So let me stretch the screen. Now I'm big. Let me, I think that helps. Hold on. So maybe if I shorten myself down a little bit here. Yeah, actually, this could work. Hold on. I'm previewing myself here because this is my best way of seeing myself here. Yeah, if I stretch myself a little bit, then maybe I can get myself to fit on the canvas a little better. The problem is having to do this every single time I stream. I do not want to do this every single time I stream, but then again, I guess, you know, just keeping on routine of this will make it like, well, easy. Like what happened on Xbox. I have to start developing a habit of streaming, but I don't think I mentioned it. You guys are seeing a pretty decent setup of me right now. Of my stream. Hold on. I'm still kind of a little stretched out. Let me stretch myself out a little bit further here. There we go. I look normal now. Okay. But yeah, you are like seeing like a pretty decent setup. Me, for whatever reason, I cannot do a full screen preview of my monitor for whatever reason with windowed mode. And I can't do full screen because it autos to 1340 by 1440p and then the canvas panics and then it outstretches it out and it looks ugly. So I'm just basically streaming from a tiny little square right now. And there's so much space around my PC monitor and I'm just caving in and just dealing with it. Because I don't want to keep restarting the stream just for my sake, you know? I feel terrible doing that. I feel like an a-hole. So I guess that's my 25-minute crash out rant about why it's such a bitch to... Why it ended up being such a fucking, like, painful bitch to stream now. Like, I don't know why half of that stuff has to be as overcomplicated as it is. It's probably an issue of, like, a carpenter blaming his tools. A good carpenter never blames their tools. So I'm probably just really bad at getting this all set up. Maybe I'm just old. It's way too late for me. I really should have gotten that Roxio 10 years ago. Who knows how different the timeline would have been if I had gotten the Roxio and I could have just adapted. But yeah, here we are. 11:32. Alright, so anyways, welcome to my Warframe stream. And it looks like we didn't really get a lot of drop frames while I was, like, screaming at clouds right now. And we are streaming at 1080p at least, so there's that. Everything looks pretty good so far, but I am waiting to see how bad the bitrate will tank when there's combat. Because I have everything... Oops. Because I have everything set up on max settings right now. That's another issue that happened when I was, like, just streaming originally that I forgot to mention is the bitrate. I didn't know what a bitrate was at the time, but whenever I started, like, streaming and recording, I had, like, the bitrate was, like, so terrible, and everything got all blurry and, like, staticky looking, and even my friends outright said, yeah, it's really hard to watch the videos with how, like, staticky and low quality everything is. What happened with that? And I was like, I don't know, it's at 1080p. I didn't realize bitrate is very important, and you have to set it at a pretty decent amount. And when you're actually, like, editing the video, when you export, you have to make sure that you set the, like, I forgot the name of it. When you, like, do the export, like, bitrate, I forgot the name of it. I do a VBR2 pass now to whenever I export my videos, making sure the max bitrate is, like, at its highest, so that way the video has the best quality. But regardless, to that day, regardless, whenever I was streaming on console, the videos would still look really bad. I mean, you can watch it on my YouTube channel right now. Some of those videos, they are very, very, very low quality. That compared to what I was actually wanting. All right. So that will be my ranting crash out stream. So I can't wait to upload that as well. Just to rant about how bad it is to stream nowadays. And this is completely, like, notwithstanding, like, this is completely ignoring the fact that people are getting in the AI-generated content now. And there's so many big streamers that would rather, like, this is completely for the streamer themselves. I don't blame the streamers for this because, you know, it's whatever they do. But, like, bigger streamers constantly rating their other big streamer friends rather than, like, trying to support, like smaller streamers, like... Not even me. Like, I literally don't need, like... I obviously need viewers, but obviously it's like... I'm at, like, extremely bottom of the barrel right now when it comes to streaming. There's other smaller streamers that have genuinely good content, but they get no attention or appeal. And it's like, those streamers could get a lot of attention, and I wish bigger streamers would have, like, a code of honor, and they would, like, raid smaller streamers more often when they're done, you know? Just to give other people a chance. But again, it's to the bigger streamers' prerogative. They can do whatever they want with their viewers. But yeah, there's so many YouTubers and streamers that really make really good content, but they just are at the bottom of the barrel and they get no attention, and it's really unfortunate. I've seen a few of them already. There's a lot more I could rant about when it comes to, like, streaming and all that, but... Now that I have everything set up, we can finally play the game. Before we do that, hold on a second. I have to send this.